Jai Gurudev. Today I want to speak about my master, Maharishi, Mahesh Yogi. I have created two groups. I'm not sure if you can see it. The one group is Vedische Wissenschaft for the German-speaking people, and the one other group is Vedic Science, the complete knowledge, Vedic Science, complete knowledge for people who like or who speak English. And in these both groups, the groups are on Facebook, and in these groups always many questions come up, and also questions about Maharishi, about his movement, about his teaching. And yesterday one person asked me why I'm only speak about Transcendental Meditation. There are also other techniques, other possibilities to become enlightenment. And this was the inspiration for me. Also many inspiration for me today to start with this video today, to speak a little bit about Maharishi and my experience with Maharishi. And also questions comes up about negative things which are written in the internet. You can see some papers, or about this video, David want to fly, or why people should pay so much money for learning Transcendental Meditation. And I had also some people, they wanted to start Transcendental Meditation, but then they looked in the internet and then they said, no, I have read all those bad things about Maharishi and his movement, and I will think about it. I will not, maybe I will start later. So many things happening about this TN movement. From my experience, and I have a lot of experience with Maharishi and his movement, and I was also part of the movement. I was also responsible for Germany for some time. I was leading the German movement and the academy in Schlederhausen. And I had many connections to Maharishi. I could work directly with him, especially when we had this big course on Fehmarn and Weißenhauser Strand. I was responsible for the whole organization. More than 1,800 people came for learning this TM City program. So I had many possibilities to be with Maharishi, to work with him or for him. I was many years in this Purusha group more than 25 years. I was always happy to be with Maharishi, to practice this technique, this Transcendental Meditation. And I have my experience that everything was Maharishi was saying, it was true. Everything what he said about higher states of consciousness becomes true for me. Also when I'm not in Brahman consciousness, it is the highest state of consciousness. Once we had a meeting with Maharishi, and then I had the opportunity, because about my birthday, as he said, all the people from Purusha should come in front of him, who had in the past 10 days or 14 days birthday. And I had also birthday, my birthday was also this time. And then Maharishi said to me, have a big wish. And my big wish was, I said to Maharishi, Maharishi, I want to be in Brahman consciousness. I want to have Brahman consciousness. And then Maharishi was really happy. And then he said to me, the whole world will support you. This was a really great blessing for me. And I feel so much supported through Maharishi. Also when I look back, when I started with my Transcendental Meditation, it was the 6th May 1972, and then I did what my TM teacher said to me in Hanover. He said, close the eyes, and then I got my mantra. And then immediately I experienced this transcendental consciousness, and for a short time or some time there was nothing. I not understood in this time what it means, transcendental consciousness, or to be beyond this transcendental consciousness in the absolute. But later, when I took a course in Vedic science in Brunnen, then we got all this knowledge, all this understanding about our own experiences, and then I decided to become a teacher for Transcendental Meditation. It was really nice, and there I had also the opportunity to be very close to Maharishi. He always came to this course, and there was also a time where I could sit directly next to Maharishi for about 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And then I had also this clear experience about cosmic consciousness the whole night, and the next day, and then I lose it again. But this experience was there, and that was great, unbelievable. And after the teacher training course, I was teaching No. It was 74, this teacher training course. Then I was working. I'm Diplom Agraringenieur and was working for farmers for 1 year. And then I decided to go to their movement. It was a big step in my life, but it was the best step which I could do, because I not really know in this time what I did. But later it was clear for me, it was a step to myself, to realize my own self. But I must say also, because this question always comes up, my relationship to Maharishi, it was for me a relationship to the pure consciousness, a relationship to this transcendental consciousness. This was my real experience. It was not Maharishi, this form Maharishi. Later I heard one person said, Maharishi is the embodiment of this pure consciousness. And when I heard this, then I was so happy, because before I was only focused to this transcendental consciousness, and there's nothing. If you have only this transcendence, this absolute, there's nothing. But with this transcendental consciousness, you have also your experience, but there are no forms. And then I got more and more these experiences from pure consciousness. And then when I looked to Maharishi, then I saw in Maharishi this pure, unbounded, transcendental consciousness and his form. So he was, for me, the reality of my own self, the reality of this transcendental consciousness, which is my own self. And I saw in Maharishi always this pure transcendental consciousness in his forms. Later, Maharishi spoke about total knowledge. This time I didn't know what it means, but now I know. The total knowledge is the transcendental consciousness which you can experience in the objects. And this was my experience with Maharishi. I had the experience from my own meditation, this pure consciousness, and then I saw, or it was my experience, the embodiment of this pure consciousness, and this was Maharishi. Later, when Maharishi spoke about unity, consciousness, then it became clear from my own experience that this unity consciousness is a state of enlightenment. And that means you experience this unbounded consciousness also in the objects of your awareness. And now more I want to speak a little bit about all the questions which came up about Maharishi. And it was, when I look back, what I said, everything was true for me. When I could not compared Maharishi with other gurus, but I had also not contact to other gurus. I think when not Maharishi came into my life, I think I would also follow maybe satsang, as a teacher, but this is the answer why I only looking for transcendence, to the practice, this transcendental meditation, and the knowledge of the Veda. Because Maharishi was talking about the Veda, and for me, what I said, Maharishi is the embodiment of the Veda, the embodiment of pure consciousness, and the Veda works through Maharishi. The Veda are impulses in the pure consciousness, and the seer, the Rishi, can see and experience these impulses and express these impulses of the Veda. And this happens all the time with Maharishi. Veda is the truth, because it's not made through a person, through man. It is the truth in this unbounded consciousness. All the knowledge for creating the universe, for creating this body, is an expression of the Veda. And that is also why I said in the beginning, Maharishi is an expression of this pure consciousness, of the Veda. Everyone is the expression of this Veda. You, me, everyone. The whole creation is the expression of the Veda. You can also say it is the expression of God. Only purity, only the pure intelligence expressed his nature in the world. And Maharishi's teaching, when he came in the West, it was very simple. The only thing was in Maharishi's teaching this should show you the mind. And then he said, the mind, the nature of the mind is this unbounded consciousness, this unbounded mind. Our mind, which we experience limited, is in reality unbounded, this unbounded consciousness, unbounded consciousness. And then he said, the fastest way to realize this pure consciousness, this transcendental consciousness, is when you take a mantra, a Vedic mantra, has a special vibration, and with this vibration, your mind becomes free, is not longer bounded through the objects. is also not bounded to the mantra. And then it happens, when you think this is the mantra, then it's very easy, the mantra moves in this direction to this transcendental consciousness. That was the whole story about Maharishi's teaching. There's nothing complicated included. Only sit down, close your eyes, think the mantra which you get from your TM teacher or from Maharishi in this time when he was there, and then your mind starts to become more and more unbounded until it reached this transcendental consciousness, and then your mind is this unboundedness, pure mind, pure unbounded consciousness. That's the whole story. And then he said, all your problems, all your negativities which you have comes from stress and strain. They create some blockages in your nervous system, and these blockages are the hindrance for experiencing this pure consciousness. And then Maharishi initiated many people. I think he started in San Francisco, later in Los Angeles, other places, also in Germany. He was in Bremen, different places, in all countries in the West, big countries. And his simple teaching was to take the mantra, the Vedic mantra, think it in the properly way. It happens automatically. You must not do anything. Then you come to this transcendental consciousness, and everything what you want will happen when you familiar with this transcendental consciousness. What I said, that was the whole teaching. But the students, many students came and want to learn Transcendental Meditation. And then Maharishi spoke about cosmic consciousness. And then he spoke, you need not sleep. When you are in cosmic consciousness, you not have sleep. You are always aware about waking, your waking state, about your dreaming state, and also during your sleep. But the people said, no, Maharishi, we want to sleep. We want not to be awake. And then Maharishi was thinking. His thought when I came was that he teach the whole world. All people should start with Transcendental Meditation. And then he was calculating, and then he found out he needs 7 years, and then everyone can transcend. Everyone can go to this place of pure consciousness from where the whole creation comes. And all the problems which we had and have in the world will disappear. We must not do anything on the superficial level only for dissolving our stresses, to solve with all our problems, to solve everything what we not want, all these emotional things, these up and downs. We want to have success, we want to have love, we want to be rich, we want to have clear thoughts, a lot of creativity, a lot of energy. But Maharishi said, you can have everything You get everything. The only thing is close the eyes and transcend. The whole teaching. And then you awake. You will never sleep. But when he found out the people want to sleep, then he started to create a world plan. And this world plan includes that everyone can start with Transcendental Meditation, but he looks for different channels. One channel was for children. Children could start with Transcendental Meditation. Then student, one other channel, could start with Transcendental Meditation. Then people the scientists, he make a program for scientists. Then they can start with Transcendental Meditation. He created a school, a university in Fairfield, Iowa, that people can start from 4 years in their education to all the different classes in the school and study management, become a doctor. Different disciplines are there, everything. So the first thing, we should not forget it, is he spoke about God consciousness also. God consciousness was in this time this cosmic consciousness. Later he said, when you have realized yourself, then you're in cosmic consciousness. But because the people wanted to be longer time in the ignorance, in their own ego, they not was really interested in this development of higher states of consciousness. And so Maharishi changed this simple, no, he should not change the simple technique of Transcendental Meditation, but he works out great programs for different kinds of people. So everyone, when one is a doctor, then he has another program like children in the school. When one person is a manager, then he got another program, and all the philosophy about the whole part about now to get enlightenment starts also. So many angles, and Maharishi found out it takes too long. Also one thing before I want to say, he asked people, why you start with Transcendental Meditation? And then people said to him, Maharishi, I like you. One other person said, I like your speech. You look so nicely. One other person said, I like if when you laugh, when you're laughing, when you smile, when you're happy, when you enjoy, when the bliss radiating from you. But no one was really interested for enlightenment. They want to sleep. They want to dream. They want to have success in their occupation. These children want to have success in the school. All these superficial things come up. And then Maharishi started to get these superficial things and connected all these different things with this Transcendental Consciousness. He made also business. He bought countries, land in Africa. I was also a little bit involved in it to have his own land, to get his own fruit. But all the jobs, all these projects dissolves after some time. They were not really successful, I think, or maybe only for some time. And then it was my conclusion that Maharishi was not so interested to make a big business. He was only interested that all the people which were involved in these projects become enlightenment. And so the whole teaching, everything what he did, the whole life, his main interest was not money. His main interest was not to have big success in the world. The main interest was to spread the simple Vedic knowledge, which is in the practice this Transcendental Meditation, and in the theory, in the knowledge part, Vedic science. As it was also for me one reason that not everything become mixed in my group which I have, Vedische Wissenschaft, Vedic science, complete knowledge, that we have this clear knowledge which I got from Maharishi all the years, on all my courses, teacher training courses, science course, governor courses, many courses I did. And I got all this knowledge from Maharishi. And through my Vedic science, through my Vedic study, but Maharishi was there also, and when I had and all the other students, all the other Purushas had questions, we could ask Maharishi, because when you study the Vedic scriptures, they are not always true. Because when a person translates the pure knowledge which is written down in Sanskrit, and when this person is not totally pure, is not enlightened, then he expressed his ego too, this impurity. And so it's sometimes very heavy, or not always possible, to get this pure knowledge from the Vedic scriptures. And so it was always good to have a guru. And that is also my answer to the question, and it's very popular now in this time, that all the people who want to have enlightenment, they said, no, I don't need a guru. And maybe you can get it now, that how important it is to have a guru. For example, it was on Purusha, and then I had very deep meditation, and then I saw in this transcendental field activity of this unbounded, this dynamic. There was activity in the silence, but I never had this experience, or I could not explain what it is, and I want to know what it is. And then Maharishi said, this is this transcendental consciousness which becomes lively in your consciousness. And so you have both the silence and the dynamic. The silence and the activity. But it's not in the relative, it is in the transcendental consciousness. I never heard this expression from one other guru, from other teachers. But when you know this, only this knowledge makes your mind satisfied, and with this knowledge and the practice of the TM cities, you can enliven this transcendental field, and then you have not only silence, you have also the possibility to fulfill all your wishes. Everything what you want. And the whole body and mind becomes integrated. So, all the steps which I had in my experience in my life with Maharishi were very important to get always to my own experience the right knowledge. When you never heard something about cosmic consciousness, and you have your experience, and you have experience maybe from cosmic consciousness, and you cannot explain it, maybe you stop it. Maybe so, this is not real. How can this silence be together with this activity? But with the knowledge, you make the whole thing lively and you are satisfied, and you come in freedom. So the knowledge is always important, always important. People say, why Maharishi takes so much money? Maharishi never took money. He created this movement, and this movement is interested that this idea from Maharishi, everyone should be happy. Everyone should become in freedom, without problems, with all this negativity which everyone has experienced in his own nature and also outside, out in the world. When we look TV and hear all the news, then we know that the world is not in harmony, it's not in freedom. All the negativities is also apart from us. When we are not enlightened, then the world cannot be enlightened. When we have bad thoughts, then we create something bad in the world. And that is also a great thing for Maharishi, what I want to say. Maharishi not looked also to me or to all the other person to get enlightenment. He was looking to the whole world becomes enlightenment. That was also idea when he creates Purusha, where I was 25 years. That's the Purusha group, about 1,000, have this big power, these great coherent waves in the brain, through the practice, through the contact to this transcendental field. And then so much order comes in the mind, in the body, and in the surrounding, and that create heaven on earth to the whole world. Not everyone must meditate, transcend. It's good enough when the square root from 1% practice Transcendental Meditation in the 10th city, and the whole world will change when we have a group about 8,000-9,000 people. It was a really great teaching of Maharishi. He was never thinking about money, he only wanted to spread his knowledge, and the movement needs this money to make this knowledge public. That everyone has this opportunity to get this knowledge, to start this Transcendental Meditation, to come immediately in this freedom, in this silence, and experience everything in his own consciousness about what Maharishi was talking all the years. You cannot get enlightenment through books. It's very stupid to be reading books. The reality is in your own consciousness. And when you transcend and you make this transcendental lively, then you create the home of all knowledge is there, but you have this opportunity to get all the knowledge what you want. when you're a student, you must not all the books. You read in your own consciousness and you get all the knowledge from your own consciousness. That is Maharishi teaching. But when you not know this opportunity, you never think about to start with this TM-City program. Because through this TM-City program, your transcendental consciousness becomes lively, and then you experience this unbounded bliss in your life also. This Sat Chit Ananda is in its purity, in the transcendence, but when you're not connected with this transcendence and the field is not lively, you will not experience this transcendental consciousness, this Sat Chit Ananda in your life. So I want only to express how important this knowledge is. And the knowledge is not which I got from Maharishi and everyone who was and is with him. He is with him, Maharishi's body is not there, but you are still with Maharishi when you transcend. What I said in the beginning, when you transcend, you experience the transcendental consciousness, and that is Maharishi. His unbounded value without forms is this transcendental consciousness. You can also say, when you have no connection to Maharishi, you can say, as it is pure consciousness, this is transcendental consciousness, this is the Atma, you can take this here, this is the Atma. You have this transcendental meditation and then you jump in this unbounded field and there's the Atma, then you realize the Atma. This is simple technique of transcendental consciousness. And now, this person and other people also said, why I not, he said, I must be in strong ego, I have a strong ego, I have nothing against the ego. But I think my ego is positive, on the positive way, because my ego brought me to this transcendental meditation. My ego inspired me to make these videos, to be in connection with you and share this beautiful and great unbounded knowledge which I got from Maharishi. And this is my memory. It's also my memory when I talk about now about the knowledge from Maharishi. But the main memory is in this transcendental consciousness. And when I'm connected with this transcendental consciousness, then both are there. This memory which I have in mind, or the memory which is in the unbounded field. It's also the answer for this lady, from where this knowledge comes. Then every knowledge comes from this unbounded field of consciousness, the pure consciousness, from the Atma. There is the whole knowledge. Only we must go to this field and then we experience and we have the memory about this knowledge. Shrutis, memory. Oh no, sorry, smritis. Smritis is memory. Smritis. And when this memory becomes lively, then we are in tune with nature. Then we work like the whole universe. The whole universe works through the natural laws. And when we are connected with our mind, with our first small mind, and then we are unbounded our mind when we transcend all these thoughts, all this past, all the future, then we come to this transcendental field, and there is also the place of all the laws, natural laws. And when we are connected with these fields, then we get all the support of our life, for our life. The natural law which governed the whole universe governs also our life. And that happens totally when we are in unity consciousness or Brahman consciousness. Brahman consciousness is this expanded consciousness. The whole tradition, which you can see, all the masters spoke about the same knowledge, about transcendental meditation, about this Vedic science. But all the masters said, this knowledge is not for me. The knowledge is in this unified field, is in the transcendence. We are, or I am, only a channel for this transcendental knowledge which comes from me to you, and everything what I say is only inspiration for you that you start with this simple technique, with the transcendental meditation. You close your eyes, you think your mantra, it happens automatically, but because the mantra want to go to this place, to the unified field, to the transcendence, because the mantra comes from there. And we not know this meaning, and that is the reason why it is very easy to go to this field where is more happiness, where is more bliss. And then our mind follows the mantra and experiences more and more clarity, because all the stresses goes away, and then we get more clarity, and through our nervous system it is possible to experience this transcendental consciousness. When it says through our nervous system, the nervous system must be clean, must be subtle, it's very soft. And when it's soft and clean, then it's possible to go with awareness to this unbounded field. Then our mind becomes this unbounded field, unbounded consciousness, and then we one with this Atma, with this transcendence. Always when I say consciousness, transcendental consciousness, that means the nervous system is mit included. When I say I am waking consciousness, this is a special state of my nervous system. When I say I'm in the dreaming state of consciousness, it's a special state of my nervous system. When I say I'm transcendental consciousness, the special function of my nervous system. When I'm in cosmic consciousness is the stabilized consciousness together with the other three states, waking, dreaming, sleeping. Then the nervous system is also included. So every consciousness, when I said I am in unity consciousness or in God consciousness, that is the faintest level of experience in the relative, then there's also my nervous system included. Always with consciousness or with awareness, I'm aware about this transcendental consciousness, and then I'm aware about the objectivity. There's included my nervous system. In cosmic consciousness, I'm aware about the camera, and at the same time I'm aware about this unbounded, pure, transcendental consciousness. In unity, or in God consciousness, my nervous system is also involved. I'm aware about this subtle state of creation. And I'm aware about this transcendental consciousness. I can also say this God consciousness is also is also cosmic consciousness, but it's a subtle way of consciousness, because your whole nerve system is pure, all the senses are very pure, the whole body is functioning properly, everything is good and fine, and you are connected with this transcendental consciousness, and you experience, in the same time, you're also aware of a transcendental consciousness, and you are aware about the subtle state of consciousness, the subtle state of the relativity, the subtle state of the relativity, this faint light waves on the faintest level of creation. You are there in God consciousness. But in unity also your nerve system is involved, and that means you experience yourself also in the objectivity, also in the camera. I am aware about myself, at the same time aware about the camera. So it's also my nerve system included in unity consciousness. The same in Brahman consciousness. Expanded unity consciousness is Brahman consciousness. And then you have also included your nerve system. I mention this because it is so important. It is so important on the way to get enlightenment, that you purify your nerve system, that you purify everything of your body. But it happens automatically when you transcend. And when you transcend, your whole nerve system becomes a lot of rest, and this rest dissolves all the stresses and strain in your body, in your nerve system. And when you have less stress and less blockage in your nerve system, then your mind starts to become unbounded. Your awareness becomes unbounded. When you have not cleaned your nerve system, or you will not practice Transcendental Meditation, then your mind is limited. You are in the prison, it's like a prison. You're always in the prison when you not start to transcend your prison, your thoughts, your feelings. And that also, I think, that makes clear why I prefer only Transcendental Meditation and only the knowledge from Maharishi, because I looked also to other gurus, also Ramana Maharishi, Vasika, different satsangs teacher. I went also to satsang for some days. It was next to my living house here where I am now, also on the same street. And there were two teachers, and these 30 people want to have satsang. And then the teaching, one teacher said, there was a person who had many problems, problem. Other people had many problems, and they came every time also to satsang. And then the teacher said, stop your thinking. Go with your mind behind your heart. Maharishi never said this, because it will not work. You cannot with your mind, who is attached to the body, you cannot take all the thoughts away and go to the behind your heart. I understand behind your heart that is this transcendental field. You cannot go with your mind, you cannot go through your thoughts to the transcendental field. It's not possible. Because you cannot change from the relative in the absolute. It's not possible. And then other teachers said, you must not do anything. You are already enlightenment. many teachers, many gurus, I think gurus said it because they had no way to go to get enlightenment. It happens because they worked in this life or in the lives before, long time to prepare the nerve system to get this state of enlightenment. And then maybe like Krishnamurti came in the life, he was enlightened, and then he was saying, you not need a guru, you not need a meditation, you not need anything, only be aware what you are. But you cannot be what you are when you have still stresses, blockages from the past in your nerve system. I think that is the main difference in the teaching from Maharishi. He said we must purify our nervous system, but we must not go to the doctor or must do something outside or concentrate to the feeling, make some feeling exercise, emotional exercise, some contemplation, to be aware when you're walking, to be aware when you do something, have your attention to yourself. Why should not say this? Because it not work. When you're in the relative field, everything is relative. Everything what you do is relative. But when Maharishi's teaching was, it's also start in the relative field. Take your mantra, then the mantra goes to the field. There is nothing. There are no forms. You transcend every part, like this here. Like this here. You meditate, go to the field, to the unbounded field, to the transcendence here. Then you get more rest. And this is what should be the nervous system with all these circles, the cross. And then when you get more rest, every blockage from the past and you're thinking about the future stops, dissolves, not doing anything on this side, on the body side. Only mentally you go to this unbounded field, to the transcendental field. The rest becomes stronger and stronger, more and more when you jump in this transcendental field, from here to here, more rest. Your mind expanded, and on the way, stresses, blockages, everything which not belongs to you, dissolve, went away. I never heard this clear expression from other teachers. The reason I think the teaching, also Ramana Maharishi, excellent, his expressions excellent, very nice, very great. And all the teacher also make nice expression. But important, that is now Maharishi, the important is not the expression and also not the knowledge or the knowledge from the book. The main thing is you must go to the transcendental field and there's all the knowledge. All the knowledge from the book you find not really in the books, you find the real knowledge in your own self. Dissolve all the stresses. So I said this because it was a question what I said, so why I'm not so much interested in other teachings, in other masters. I'm interested, also when I went to the satsang, I was interested also this person, he not eats since that 5 years, not eating anything. So I was interested to know about this, how it is possible not to eat. And then he was talking a lot about it. I feel it was happy to hear everything. But he also said it's not important to eat or not to eat. When it happens, happens. And when not, then not. And was really appreciating this answer. was really great. It's not important, all these outer things are not so important. The main thing is this transcendental field. But what I was missing also on satsang, to make this nice explanation, what I learned, that I'm teacher in Transcendental Meditation, I'm certified. So I got this real nice knowledge from Maharishi, and directly on the teacher training course. And so I can really properly explain the whole story, how to get enlightenment, which there are steps. Also, when I study, you can say, you studied this Vedic science. Yeah, I did it. But it's only good for my own progress. And it's good when I can speak to you. And it is not the Vedic science, all these Vedic expressions. The main thing is close the eyes, transcend, and everything comes then through you, through your pure consciousness. That's the whole teaching. Nothing complicated. Totally simple. And it becomes only complicated when your own mind is not clear. And then when you want to know, I want to know this, so, and you want to know this, so, you want to know the whole philosophy about Transcendental Meditation, and then you read the paper from the past, or you look in the internet and say, oh, that is, people get headache when they start with Transcendental Meditation. All these negative things, you can read it, and then you start to become complicated. I initiated also nice family. They did also, because so many years they went from one teacher to the other. It was a doctor family. And then he said, now I want to have this real experience, not this knowledge, not all this explanation. I want to know what is this transcendental field. And I said, yeah, you start with Transcendental Meditation and then you get it, then you know it. I can speak about more than 2 hours, 3 hours about the whole field, but when you're very clear, you not needed all this talking, then we can stop immediately and we can make an appointment. And then said, yes, I want, when I have time, I said, you can start tomorrow. Some days later he came with his wife and had this experience. And had all this knowledge what he had, all these techniques and all these different ways and all these opportunities to get enlightenment, but all this knowledge was not helpful for him to get this experience of transcendental consciousness. And everyone, I initiate many people in the foreign countries, also in the prisons, in the schools, or managements, everyone who starts, or the military, I initiated groups, so not only single person, or the groups I initiated, so I'm familiar with all these initiations, and all the knowledge from Maharishi, and I think I can really answer every question about this whole thing about consciousness. And because I have my own consciousness, I have my own experience, and have the knowledge from Maharishi, and both come together, and then it makes it very clear to express properly what it means to transcend, to develop your consciousness, to develop your nerve system, to become happy, to get freedom. It's very easy. That's also the reason why I'm here. I'm not in the ego and want to have something, I want to give something. Many people, my friend said, you can make a lot of money, you have so much knowledge, you can sell your knowledge and get money. And I said, no, I'm not interested. When people want to come to learn Transcendental Meditation, I'm open. They can come to Lindau and make holiday and enjoy my nice atmosphere here, to enjoy my life and learn Transcendental Meditation. No problem. Many people did it from Frankfurt, other places in Germany, from Berlin, and so came to me and want to learn. But they can learn in their place where they are. Maharishi, when he started with his world planner, he said, when he was thinking about the people not really want to have enlightenment, but it's good to get enlightenment, then the world will change. Then he teach. Then he said it takes more than 7 years, and handle the whole thing now, the whole movement, that everyone can start Transcendental Meditation. Then he started to teach people. That was the reason that he said, I want to duplicate myself, and so he created teacher. And every teacher gets the same knowledge in the whole world. In every city, in big city, also Germany, you can learn Transcendental Meditation. It's very easy. In Hanover, there's the main center, main place, this organization for Germany. Also every land has country, I think more than 140 countries are there, where people, millions of people already practice Transcendental Meditation, and they make experience. So it's possible for you to learn here in Germany. Maybe the first steps, or the first 4 steps, and then you go to America or to other places, to Spain or Greece or other where you want, make holiday, and then you get the next steps. Because the knowledge which we got from Maharishi, every teacher has the same knowledge. And also when the teacher not enlightened, it's the best thing is the teacher is enlightened. But there are not many people enlightened, only some. Many people in cosmic consciousness, I think, but not really enlightened in Brahman consciousness. But everyone is growing. The life is growing. The evolution brings us to the state more and more. And when we jump in this transcendental field, then we support the nature to grow very fast in this transcendental consciousness, to grow to unity consciousness. Our aim, our evolution for everyone is to get enlightenment. And this transcendental meditation is really helpful. When you go by your body, if you go by your body, it is not so easy to transcend the body. When you go by your thoughts, something, it's not so easy to transcend your thoughts. When you go by your feelings, it's not so easy to transcend the feelings. So you can learn this easy technique of Transcendental Meditation. Even this place where you are, when you're in Berlin, you can. There are many good teacher, all teacher good, because they have the same knowledge. And they are also, when they're not enlightened, they have the structure. Everything they must learn properly, every step properly, so everyone can get this pure knowledge through his TM teacher. It should be recertified. So it is a great present for the teacher too. When he teaches, Maharishi said, when you teach, then you get much more through your teaching. Through your teaching you get much more, as when you are alone and sitting only there and meditate. But when you can give out this knowledge, what I'm also doing all the time through my videos, through my texts, Facebook, privately, talks privately, everywhere, it is my dharma to do it. Maybe people say it is your ego. This doesn't matter, ego, dharma. Then it's my ego is my dharma. My dharma is my ego. Doesn't matter. We can only be in this state of consciousness where we are. When you take this consciousness from your guru and say, oh, I'm enlightened now, I'm enlightened. So, and then you're speaking so like your guru, you move like your guru, and then so. This is nonsense. It's ignorance. But because everyone is in the best position when he lives his own consciousness and not the consciousness of the guru. Also this, now this thought comes again to me about the guru. When the guru has not learned the steps to lead, or not learned the steps for getting enlightenment, he comes, many gurus, what I said, Ramana Maharishi maybe also, or Krishnamurti, becomes enlightenment directly. Before they did their exercise, then they get enlightenment, but they have no way. And when they speak about all the nice things, so about love, freedom, creativity, then they speak from their level, but this level not need a way, this level not need a master, but when you, on your level, when you attach to the world, when you attach to your wife, attach to your feelings, you attach to your children, attach to your boss, to the world which you see, then you must come out of this attachment. And there you need a guru, a teacher. And you come out of this attachment when you have this way, the description, do this, do this, do this. Also this Vedic study, to study the Veda, and it is good to come out of this attachment. And then you have all this knowledge, the great knowledge, get knowledge, and then you get more knowledge also from your own self. But the Veda is good, and the Veda end when this consciousness expanded, when this consciousness expanded to this here, to the unbounded, it is transcendence. When you come here, the Veda ends. And then you come to Vedanta. And Vedanta, Anta is the end, Veda is this knowledge. The end of the knowledge is Vedanta. But you must first purify your nerve system to come to Vedanta. You must refine your nerve system. All the blockages which are here, all the blockages must go away, and then you come in the state of pure consciousness, and then you have Vedanta. Vedanta, and when all the nice, great teacher, enlightened teacher talk about Vedanta, then it is not useful for you when you're still in the state of attachment. When you are said only the waking state is real, only what I can see is real, everything what I taste is real, everything what I hear is real, and this unbounded transcendental field is unreal. When you're in this state, and you hear, we went to the enlightened person who speaks about Vedanta, it's not useful for you. I think that is also in satsang always so. I am this pure consciousness, but when you attach to the body, to the objects, then is this expression useless. I am. It's only in the mind. Maybe you are thinking about your wife, and now you go to satsang, and then they say, no, you are I am, you are pure consciousness. Be aware about your pure consciousness. Then your mind moves from your wife to this expression of I am. It is in your mind. But here, when you choose the Transcendental Meditation, you come out of your mind, of your limited mind. Your mind moves in this direction to the unbounded field, in this ist state, ist state, nicht? Here. This transcendental consciousness here, ist state. Then you are not the mind, you are not the thoughts, you are not the feelings, you are this transcendental field. You are the transcendence. There's no forms, there's no ego. No ego. There's only this unbounded pure consciousness. And this unbounded pure consciousness is everywhere. That means you are everywhere. There are no limitations, nothing. And that you are. And that is also, as I mentioned this, so also a little bit longer now, that you get, especially for my groups here, my groups in Facebook, that they understand why I'm only interested in pure consciousness, or only interested in this total knowledge, complete knowledge. And the complete knowledge, I say it again, is the absolute and the relative together once. When you experience yourself in the object, now I look in the camera, I look to you in the camera, so I experience myself in the camera, and then I feel the camera is myself. There's only one self, this self is one self, there's no difference. It's unity. And that is what you want. Also, David want to fly. I looked also to this video. He went to the movement and very different states. He went to India, David. He was in companion with his girlfriend, and they had many problems. And the same problems when I looked to the video, I looked all the videos, all these bad things what he is describing, and then I saw his problems which I had with his wife, with his girlfriend, or what it was, girlfriend. I think they wanted to marry, and had on many problems, all the time problems. And then he makes this he makes this film in a not nice way, and all the problems he brought also in this video. And I will say, no one can speak the truth when he is not enlightened. Because when you have all these blockages, all this anger, all this pain, all this, you are angry, you are emotional things, when everything is there and you write a book, then all these blockages, all these different things which not belongs to you, you will express in your book too. And that is also what David, all the blockages he brought in this film, and all the papers who write all the negative things about Maharishi, about the movement, because they cannot write different. They cannot write in the positive way, because when they have all the blockage, then they will always express this blockage in their activity. And so all these negativities which I heard, also one person sent me something about, or you can hear it maybe also, Maharishi had sex. One person said, no, it was a TM teacher. But then he said, no, you can see Maharishi had sex. When I heard this, then immediately I know it is not true. And no, I must not make research. And he said I should make research, and then I find out the same. It's the same what I said. When people have sex in their mind, doesn't matter what they do, they cannot say the truth. They will always write something about sex. So it belongs also to us, not only when people write negative things about Maharishi or the movement. I think I'm not happy with it, because this pure knowledge which I got from Maharishi, which I've experienced in my own experience now, in my own awareness, this pure knowledge, everything what I said comes real from Maharishi, what he said. And so I not believe anything when people come to me. So they said it also, you must not write anything, negative things about Maharishi, about the movement, or the teacher. Or the teacher can also become negative when they are not in the real consciousness, not established in the pure consciousness. Also some TM teacher wrote also something bad things. It's also not so nice to do it. But they lost this knowledge from which you got from Maharishi, because they have not found the knowledge in her own self. And when this not happened, then you still attached to the world, you attach to other teacher, and then you think, wow, that sounds good. When you take this, I had it also with one student for me, he learned TM, and then he went after some time to the Buddhism for meditation. He wanted to have the experience. I said, it's nonsense, you must not go, you must not sit in silence and be aware about your mind, or look into your mind and be careful that no thoughts come up, only still sitting. It was very painful also for him, I heard. So and after some 3 weeks or 4 weeks, he said, yeah, you are right, it was nonsense. This transcendental meditation is much easier, and then you can transcend. These are other things you are still in your mind. I will not say it will not happen. It can also happen that you transcend also with other techniques. But that is the main thing. Doesn't matter when you not use this transcendental meditation, and you can transcend. Maybe you taste what you smell, what you hear, when your feelings, when you can transcend all these senses, then it's nice. But for everything, every technique, doesn't matter if you start with yoga, also with pranayama, or with concentration, with contemplation, it's very difficult, will not work, but when you think this is your way to contemplate, or so, when you take concentration, it must happen on your way that you come to this transcendental field here, unified field. Atma. You must come here. Doesn't matter when you go by your feelings, you must come through your feelings to this field. When you stay here with your feelings, maybe here with your feelings, or maybe here, stay here until here, you will not transcend. Then it's waves of time. When you transcend maybe 1 year or 2 years away, but it's also waves of time, because you can have this transcending immediately. Close your eyes, make that what your teacher said to you, or the different steps, and then you will experience Transcendental Consciousness. Or what I said, in my case it was, so I had this experience of Transcendental Consciousness, but also what is behind this Transcendental Consciousness. There is nothing, there is no time, no space, nothing. Also in the Transcendental Consciousness is also no time. And you are expanded, but there you are still aware, and you have experience, but in this absolute, but I have also every night I have it. Also in meditation sometimes. There's nothing. I only know it from the time. Only from the time I know. So it was after that. I know it was. It was. About money, I said, I think it's very clear. They make many research. The movement in Africa, in America, in Germany, many scientists are involved. And so we have this collected papers also about many 6 books. We have described everything, the measurement, everything we find out about transcendental meditation. All this, also 630 scientific research you did. This all the science is only for people who have problem to come out of the mind and always have the question. When I initiate children, there's no question. Close the eyes, do what I say. After 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they can transcend, can experience pure consciousness. Also very simple people, also in India I met also, not all, but many, very simple, also classes, very simple. They did what I said, jump in immediately in this transcendental field. All the questions, also doesn't matter if you have questions and when you inform the mind, you want to know many things about Maharishi, about the movement, about this Transcendental Meditation, you can find everything in my videos too. All the many videos, very nice, great videos from Maharishi also by YouTube, you can find out, and also David Lynch, everyone knows this filmmaker, David Lynch, he makes also videos you can find in also YouTube. So, and also Tony Nader, the greatest scientist in the world, he found out that he locates the Veda in the body of the person. So all these nice things, so the planets, everything you can find in your body. It's also when you need this, it's a really good explanation. Read this book from Tony Nader. It's very nice. I'll show it next time to you. I sit so comfortable and not like to stand up now. But I think the main thing I said, so I think everything is clear why it is very important to have a guru. Also to understand why the movement takes money. It's not to become rich, it's only to become the opportunity to spread this pure knowledge from Maharishi to every home, that every person can start with this Transcendental Meditation and can start to get enlightenment, to become freedom, to become happy. Also the money, when you buy a car, you're not thinking about you pay 20,000 euro or more, 30, 40, or maybe some people have electric cars, they pay 100,000 euro for one car. And then they should pay, maybe when you're single, about 1,700 or so. Or when you're a couple, then you pay less. When you're a child, you pay less. When you're a student, you pay less. So you can, when you want to learn, you can ask me, or can other teacher can ask how much it is. And but people have blockages. They said, "Oh, so much money, will I not know what I get?" Well, I talked the whole time about it. What you get enlightenment. But when you want to have many courses, then go to the many courses. And when you not feel comfortable, when you not get freedom, when you not get this transcendental consciousness in your own consciousness, then you start with transcendental meditation. Then you come to me or to other teacher, and then you will hear what to do to get enlightenment. So I think it was a really good video. With all the different aspects from my own experience. Maharishi saved also my life. There's some great connections to Maharishi. Also when I talk here, sometimes, or always think, I'm in this transcendental field, connected, I'm aware about this transcendental field. And when I said Maharishi is a transcendental field, then I have the impression, when I speak about the movement, or I'm speaking about transcendental meditation, and also sometimes when people say, "Oh, satsang is much better," or "this is better, so I like this way," and then I talk also about this, because I know also different teachings from other gurus I know, but I know teaching, I found no teaching where there's a way, like in this meditation, transcendental meditation, to go in the easy way to this transcendental field directly. When you start today, you have this experience today, and not like in Buddhism, where the mixed Buddhas, they spoke also about transcendental meditation, but the understanding was there are 8 steps. Buddha never spoke about 8 steps. He spoke about 8 limbs. It's different. When you bring fulfillment in one limb, the other 7 limbs becomes also fulfillment. When you want to go steps, then you must go one step after the other until you reach the 8th step. And then this was the understanding. You get enlightenment, you come in samadhi when you first go the 7 steps, and then you come in samadhi. That was not the teaching from Buddha. The teaching from Buddha was start with transcendental meditation. And when you start with transcendental meditation, all the 7 steps are included. That's a big difference from the understanding. First transcend and then work. That is called also in the Veda Yogastaku Kamani. First go to yourself and then be active. That means morning and evening transcend, and then you take this transcendental consciousness in your activity. You take this transcendental consciousness in your life until this is stabilized. And when the transcendental consciousness is stabilized, then you must not meditate. This only to purify your nervous system, this transcendental consciousness. And when you have everything purified, then you are in unbounded consciousness, then you have realized this transcendental consciousness, and that is in God consciousness, then you are both. You are aware both from both. You are aware about transcendental consciousness and activity. So I repeat it again and again, also in this video. I repeat it again and again. I will make more videos when there are more questions. Otherwise I get inspired to make this like this. It happens also. This morning I got the feeling, oh, I should now answer all the questions in these both groups. And also in the other people, also privately, so the question comes up. So I think I did a good job. I include so many things on this video. Many things. And that is the collection from all my other videos which I did in the past, all the collection I did in this video, and also to connect this great knowledge, this total knowledge, this Veda, the knowledge from the Veda, from this unbounded fields and pulses of the pure fields, the natural law, is also the Veda. Connect all different expressions in the past in this video, so then you have a round view, and then you can decide easier to believe all these negative things or to stop to believe all the negative things. The reality you cannot find outside, you can only find in your own self. And that is now a good opportunity to transcend with this transcendental meditation, or when you transcend with your practice, fine. When not, what is this? That what you're doing is waves of time. Yes, it's so great to become a body like ours. The men have a nice body, the nerve system. Not the animals, they have not this nice nerve system, they cannot transcend. But we have the opportunity in this life, coming out of all this ignorance, of all this relative thinking, of the relative life, and jump in yourself, in your transcendental consciousness, and then you can live, then your life will start. Then you will live properly. Before, without this spaces, without this transcendental consciousness, you will never be in the present, you will never in the state of I am, you will never be in this is states, you will never get enlightenment. Then you're only in the superficial things. The main people, or the most of the people in the world, more than 99% are in this in this superficial pool, thinking on action, on thinking, feeling, on fighting. Everything what we see in the world happens only because the mind is limited. And now we have the opportunity to get very soon enlightened when we practice Transcendental Meditation and jump in this field of Transcendental Consciousness and live the field of unity. Jai Gurudev.